I told Humpty from the start that you were a rat. But he was so good and trusting, and it was my job to protect him. But you cheated, didn't you? Going to Tom like that? You aren't just a rat, are you? No, you're the fucking devil! But I will honor his memory by making you pay for it. J stands for Judas, the fucking backstabber!
Hello there, and welcome to episode 89 of the best video game podcast in the world, Between the Joysticks. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined by my co-host, John, over here. John, we got a new game announcement coming tomorrow.
What?
Did you not know this?
No. I've been in Arizona for 5 days. I don't know anything.
Teased from Jeff Keighley. It is from your favorite universe, Marvel.
Oh, God. What is it? What is it? Is it another Snap? Snap 2? Marvel Snap 2?
It's from developer NetEase, and it is rumored to be a 6v6 class-based shooter a la Valorant is the closest comparison being thrown out there.
Why haven't I heard about this?
It's just being teased right now. This is breaking news.
Okay. So you said it's from who?
NetEase.
From NetEase?
Who we've mentioned is
Marvel?
making a multiplayer Horizon game for Sony.
Ooh, is it Super War?
Is that what it's called?
Marvel Super War is a 5v5 MOBA from NetEase.
Oh, that's probably it right there.
Probably, yeah. Marvel's first MOBA game is it on mobile? Because this is on mobile.
I don't know.
Okay.
No, it said
breaking
PC,
news, as we said.
No, the article said PC and consoles.
Okay.
So this,
nope, that's something different. There must be multiple because
that's right. They have two other. Yeah, NetEase has two mobile games in the Marvel universe.
Okay.
So this is going to be new.
So this looks like Marvel Rivals.
It'll be officially announced tomorrow, May 27th or March 27th.
That's, I mean, I'll shit on Marvel till the cows come home, but like,
yeah, the teaser image has Magneto, Storm, Iron Man. So they're.
Yeah, I mean, a shooter, you throw Punisher in there, you throw...
I don't know if it's a shooter.
This says unannounced shooter.
Okay. So there you go.
And this was posted today at 12:47.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that's it's going to be interesting because, yeah, I mean, okay, so you can do like Iron Man, right? You can shoot from your hands, but like,
right.
Are you just going to put a machine gun in Spider-Man's hands? Or like, what do you do?
I mean, you can't have guns, right? Unless you are like Punisher. Nobody else is going to be using guns.
That's true. I guess, yeah, power-based magic shooter type thing. Maybe Spidey's, web slingers could have electricity in it. That's the thing. But, yeah, I mean, sure.
It's got to be probably kid-friendly, too. So
it would be stupid if it wasn't.
It'd be interesting how you win that game. Spider-Man can web people up, but how is he taking them down?
Curb stomping.
Or defeating the curb stomping. So it's something really dark.
No, I'm sure it'll be bright. If this is saying Overwatch, you say Valorant, but it'll be bright. It'll be easily accessible. It'll be geared towards teenagers and kids, and it'll probably just be something that we talk about every once in a while. You know, I mean,
like I said, the full reveal will be tomorrow. So by the time you're listening to this, you may have seen it in action. If it gets more than a CG trailer, but
interesting. 'Cause, yeah, I mean, it's not. MCU is not what they used to be. Like, even when the Avengers game got announced, I remember thinking, like, this is going to be the biggest fucking video game ever. Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of... So, hopefully they're not relying too hard on the IP to pull the weight and actually have, like, a pretty solid game.
Right.
But cool.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah, more games coming. All right, the next news item. Stellar Blade. It's getting a demo, officially.
Oh, yeah.
Not that leaked demo that they had to pull. But on March 29th...
But totally the same demo.
Yeah, March 29th, you can get your hands on the moments of the game. And again, like the demo for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, your data's transferring over. So
it's like every demo now, dude. It's like people don't make demos now unless if that happens. So
yeah, Unicorn Overlord. So this seems to be a good trend. So, you're not replaying the same section. But, yeah, we're going to finally see if this game is good.
Yeah, I'm still very optimistic about it, but I wouldn't be lying if I said I'm not like 100% confident. They're
Right.
still unproven developer. Shift Up seems like they've got their shit together. They just got evaluated, I think, in the Korean stock market for like 3 billion or 2 billion or something. So like they're obviously a robust company, but still, new IP, new team. Big butts are cool, but you guys, there a cool game behind it too. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. This game will court definitely that. I don't know. I don't want to say controversy, but and John, but it definitely, I'm sure the
it's gonna have
the outfits will be taken under some scrutiny. But
Kotaku and Polygon might have some articles.
So that'll be interesting. But yeah, again, we get to try it. We'll definitely talk about that next week. That is for sure going to happen.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm going to do my thing that I usually do when I go, the moment I know I'm going to want to play it, I just delete the demo. But I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm also like, I do love that they let you transfer your shit into the full game. But like me personally, I'll probably just I'm just going to replay it again. Like,
right.
It's going to be, if the demo comes out Friday, that's the 29th, right? Mm-hmm. The game doesn't come out till the 26th. Mm-hmm. It's a long time to go from just, the intro and then I don't know.
Right.
So
and I'm sure we'll cover this next week, but I wonder, will this get John to pre-order it?
It's true. Maybe. I don't know.
You get some bonus outfits if you pre-order it. So
are they the nudie ones?
I don't know.
Probably.
I didn't look at them, but
cool.
Yeah. Again, what is the biggest release of April?
That one.
There's really nothing, especially on the console side. Nothing I can really think of. So
yeah, I mean, Switch just went with Peach and Rise of Ronin and Dragon's Dogma. March 22nd was a huge day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it probably is. This is saying Dead Island has something. I don't know what that could be. Manor Lords. So you forget about Manor Lords. Sandland.
Oh yeah, Sandland.
Top Spin. Oh no, Rest for the Wicked. That's got to be early access or something. But yeah, it's Stellar Blade.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, Dave the Diver. Ooh.
GDC is going on, the Game Developer Conference, and some interesting takes from Christopher Dring of GameIndustry.biz talking about our good friends Xbox, and this is quoted directly from him. Xbox is in real trouble as a hardware manufacturer. Sorry, I can't read here.
Nick's having a stroke. And that's the end of Between the Joysticks.
I heard from a very prominent company, and one not so prominent, was Xbox's performance in Europe is flatlining, and with Xbox putting some of its games on PS5, from what I understand, the majority of them will be coming across at some point. Assuming it progresses as Xbox believes it probably will. I think Xbox is in real trouble as a hardware manufacturer, and that was the thing that came out of GDC for me. He added, I thought it would be fine, but then I didn't really factor in that some developers and publishers might just go, yeah, I don't know, is there any point in referring to putting games on Xbox? Mm-hmm. And that is when you can lose it. So as we said when we talked about, the 4 games coming to Xbox, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and Grounded, that this was just the beginning. And kudos to John. He said everything was on the table, and that sounds still to be true.
Yeah, it just
rumors
simply
go.
The math didn't make sense on okay, you're gonna do this to increase your revenue, and why would you not continue to increase your revenue? Especially when all the other marketing or messaging from Phil and everybody else is every decision we're making is for the health of Xbox. We're not saying every decision we're making is so that we can, ensure our development teams are bringing you the best games in the world. It's they are really, I think if you focus on the specific words that they're using, even in this little Chris Dring thing where as a hardware manufacturer, you really start to focus on the things that they're saying specifically, you kind of can read between the lines that, yeah, they are just positioning themselves to be everywhere, to get little rips at every possible avenue that they can, and that's fine. But if you're hoping that, the Coalition and I can't think of any other, Obsidian, are going to, they're going to really push them to make Game of the Year contenders, it just does not really seem the way it's going. So makes sense to me. They'll push everything there.
And unfortunately, Xbox really needs a heavy hitter game. They need a big game because that would definitely drive more console sales. but
I
it
wonder
doesn't
if-
seem like one's even close.
I do wonder if like Starfield really was a monumental moment for them just in determining how they want to approach the future, right? If they see, hey, this is a Bethesda game studio, huge new IP. If this does not do it, nothing else will. And so, the timing kind of seems to line up to me a little bit, right?
Sure.
Like, Starfield released 6 months ago and change. They saw the results, wasn't what they really wanted, didn't realize that it's not going to push hardware sales. What else do we have? Probably nothing. So if we want the brand to continue, the coffers of Xbox to stay full, that seems to logically be kind of the only path forward. And again,
Yeah, and like I said, nothing big coming. So it's just like you can't even be like, oh, well, Indiana Jones is coming out this May. Let's see how that does.
it's
It's
not going
like
to push units.
it's just nothing big is coming, and Hellblade 2 looks great, but it's not going to be that game either. And I think that was the rumors about their June showcase, is that it's going to have a lot of great games in there, but they're just not coming fast enough. And so Xbox is, as of right now, and again, this is a rumor, I think this is where they're pivoting. So,
And that's not to say that Sony's completely sunshine and rainbows too. They have a problem on their hands with budgeting, right? Like they're tackling different things right now. The only one that I think is just sunshine and roses, Nintendo and Valve. They're probably just like, we don't care. Like we had it figured out 30 years ago. So
right.
whatever. But I would stand by that fact for sure. I'm still in the everything will come camp.
Sure. All right. And then next up, I have just a little bit of housekeeping. We said that we're going to do our Last of Us Part 2 bonus episode. We apologize. Like, this has been quite a month, and we really got to get this nailed down, but it may not hit this by the end of March. We're gonna try, but things aren't looking good.
Well, I just got a work trip to Arizona. Nick's got some personal stuff he's going through, so we haven't forgotten. We have not forgotten,
and we really want to do it.
Yes.
But it sucks that we're getting farther and farther away.
Yeah.
It's so fresh in my brain, and now it's getting filled with
play it again,
all
dude.
these other. Just play through it again.
You just said there's nothing in April.
Okay, so we're gonna try and get that to you, and then final thing I want to talk about is I got a surprise for John. John is not even aware. He didn't even mention why I brought in this bag here.
I didn't see a bag. What do we got?
Yeah. So we are a console gaming podcast, but I wonder if John is familiar with what I'm going to show him, if he's ever seen one of these before in his life. So, John, have you ever seen one of these before? What I handed him is a Tiger Electronic X-Men game. These were all the rage,
shit.
in the 90s?
Yeah. Dude, top of the line. Where'd you find this?
Courtney bought it for me. That was premium gaming when you were a little kid.
Dude.
Nowhere near the power of a PS5 or Xbox Series X.
It's like those graphics, right? You can see the health bars, just straight black lines everywhere you can, man. Those kids today don't know how good they have it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is this for me or is this?
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to show you.
No, that's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah, I was like, they still make these?
Nostalgia is a hell of a thing, man. Nostalgia will push units until Kingdom Come.
Right, exactly. It's a collector's
But yeah,
item at this point.
I don't know if I had an X-Men one, but I definitely had some of those.
Yeah, at least I had one. Because I know
Would you say that
there
brand
were
Tiger
Sonic
with a Y?
ones. What's that?
Was the brand Tiger with a Y?
No, just Tiger.
Just Tiger?
Yeah, there were probably so many of them because I remember, friends had them. And then, like I said, I had a Sonic one growing up.
Dude, that's funny.
They were not great games, though.
No, yes. Please don't buy this on a recommendation level. This is a purely if you remember these as a little boy and you're about in your mid-30s.
But take a look on YouTube and look up some gameplay and just be like, oh, boy.
Yeah. Here you go, Levi. You said Spider-Man's no fun anymore? All right. You can play this.
This is what we played back in my day.
And we all know the struggle of playing like a Game Boy or something in car at night, and you have to try and see what you needed to see on the passing overhead lights and all that kind of good stuff. But that's funny. Good job, Courtney. Good job.
All right. So unless you got something, we can move into the show.
No, I am.
All right.
I'm still catching up from my last week, so please.
All right. So this is how the show works. John and I both bring up to 3 things to talk about for a total of 6 things. It can be a video game we're playing. I am bringing Hi-Fi Rush today. It can be a news item. It can be a topic. We're going to talk about all those reviews of the big March 22nd day. Dragon's Dogma, Princess Peach, and Rise of the Ronin. 3 big games came out on the same day. John had some predictions. We're going to go over that and more. It can be email from our listeners. You can write in, and we'll read it on this very show. Write in at betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or DM us there at JoysticksPod. Or you can make a comment on our YouTube page at Between the Joysticks. Any of those things, we can bring it and we can talk about it. And we have 4 things for you today. So let's get into those reviews, John.
Yes.
As at the start of last episode, I asked John to predict where he thought all the games would land. And we're going to talk about each one. Let's start with the one he correctly predicted would review the highest. And that's Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, it's not reviewing as high as he predicted, but it is currently sitting at an 88 on OpenCritic.
Pretty good.
A lot of the reviews seem to think that it's I'll just quote, we got Jarrett Green of IGN say, more of a redo than a sequel. Dragon's Dogma 2 is a strange and wonderful action RPG that balances the original strengths and addresses its weaknesses. And Eurogamer, Lewis Parker says, a huge improvement of the original and a captivating journey from beginning to end. And that seems to be the sentiment in all these reviews. The only negative kind of being, I hear the quests are very bland. A lot of collectathons, a lot of what Final Fantasy 16 had, go do a thing, fight a battle, or go get so much of X resource, come back and rinse and repeat. But the strength I hear is that journey from getting to point is that you just have no idea what's going to happen. In this game, you can kill all the NPCs in the game. You can do really bizarre things, and there's a lot of vagary in how you should tackle things.
Sure.
And I think that a lot of people are drawn to that. It's just kind of this open-ended fantasy RPG that is reminiscent of much older games.
Yeah. It's an interesting one when I look at it because I'm almost always blown away when I see the environments of this game and just kind of the beauty of the world. But I do think there are some shortcomings here that I'm seeing the reviews talk about. You mentioned that the world design is great, but I also have heard that enemy variety is very bland. You run across the same 4 enemies 90% of the time, and that lends itself to even though the world and the exploration is cool, it still starts to feel a little samey,
right?
Especially when you're going into a cave and it's the same enemies over and over again. So that is a little point of contention for some people. So kind of know that going into it. But overall, yeah, it does the large scale RPG stuff you want, big monsters, cool large scale fights. I just think from what I've been reading, and I still don't know if I want to pick this game up or not. I'm kind of on the fence about it. But is that it's the game of kind of what ifs. What if they figured out a way to make, the open world feel a little more, and this is a tall ask, so I know what I'm saying here, but an Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild, where you do kind of get a little bit more reward for your exploration. And I don't know if you were going to mention the controversy surrounding.
Yep.
Okay.
Of course, we're going to talk about
so
that.
there's that as well, which we'll mention here in a second. But seems to be a fantastic game. Probably will get a Game of the Year nod, and we'll see. It's going to be one of those on the fence ones, I think. Probably the 6th one in. But obviously we'll know a closer picture of that towards the end of the year. But for the people that were anticipating it, the people that liked the first one, I think you're going to find a ton of stuff to like.
Yeah. And so, the issues with the game seem to be frame rate, a big one.
In 2024, you can't have 30
especially frames. when you go into the towns and just the amount of NPCs, the amount of characters on screen, it just turns to dog shit, even on PC.
So it's probably a pro game. This would probably be a good game to get a pro patch.
Yeah, so, and they've promised to patch it and, of course, and improve it. But, again, a game launching with issues, So that kind of turned the public opinion on the game a bit because it's just another broken PC release. And then the icing on people's disdain for the game because of that was that the day after it released, a bunch of microtransactions were released for resources in the game, including resource that allows you to fast travel, which is unfortunate because game director Hideki Itsuno had some negative comments about fast travel.
I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
And then now you have a microtransaction for an item. And I want to be perfectly clear. All these items are earnable in-game. Second, Capcom does this with all their games. Monster Hunter, Resident Evil 4. You can pay to unlock resources and stuff. Like, it's just like a payable cheat code, basically. Mm-hmm. So this is not anything new, but of course, combined with his comments and then everyone just kind of down on the game because of its performance, it turned into a shitstorm, including, the game instantly getting mostly negative reviews on Steam.
Yeah.
And
currently sitting at mixed.
And just, the hate brigade just getting something to really, point at when, they're unhappy with the game.
And that's absolutely it, though, Nick. If he didn't make those comments about fast travel, I think this would be one of those like, ugh. But like we'd move on from it, and we'd be like, yeah, it's fine. You don't need to do it, but you can. Uh-huh. But when you say, I think fast travel is stupid, and if you have a world that's fun to explore, you don't need it, and then you turn around and charge people for it. It's like if you develop a game and you come out from the get-go and you say, we're going to have a fuckload of microtransactions. At least people know what they're getting into. It's when people get surprised that's when they get really, really upset. So you can't say that shit.
It's again kind of like the situation with Cyberpunk is like where reviews come out and they don't mention this at all because it didn't exist.
And then Crash Team Racing was no one.
And then after the game comes out, all these issues come up, and then these microtransactions appear. You're like, well, you're trying to pull
this for a review code.
Yeah. You're trying to pull something on us. But let's briefly. Well, how do you feel about this kind of system for microtransactions, where you're basically, you don't have to grind the resources. You could just pay if you wanted.
It's a case by case basis. The game has to be balanced appropriately, right? Like it depends, and that you're usually not going to get an answer to this. But like, was the development and balancing made with that in mind, or with the game in mind? Which one is it?
You'll never know.
You have some. I think Star Wars Battlefront 2 was one of the worst examples of that. When that game came out, people were having to grind for like 140 hours or something to try and get to unlock Vader, which is all anybody wanted.
Right.
And, EA's like, oh, no, we want to make sure players have they feel that they earned it when they get it. It's like, no, respect my time. So that's most important. I don't have a problem including these microtransactions if the balancing is appropriate. Mm-hmm. Then at that point, if you are somebody who's maybe don't have as much time as you want, you're very well off in life, you're a single dude that just doesn't want to deal with it, you should go for it. Options always a good call. You can always have options, as long as there isn't corporate greed behind it.
Right. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it either. Like I said, I don't even remember noticing it for Resident Evil 4. I just played through the game, and then I think I realized, well after that, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But if like the director of Resident Evil is like, yeah, we have a, I don't know, completely self-contained economy, and it's perfectly balanced, and then, they show that afterwards, like, dude, what are you talking about then? What do you mean? So, yeah, it's a bummer, but I still think, controversies always fade as long as it's not, like Cyberpunk level controversy or No Man's Sky level. Like this will be one as long as they continue to support the game, and update it. And if a PS5 Pro comes out and they can do a 60 frames per second patch and you knock that out of the park, and like it has a path to maybe not to greatness, but to be remembered as one of the better games of the year.
True. The last game got an expansion, so
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if this game also gets an expansion, and it's kind of and as it gets patched, it'll be a much better game. So. Mm-hmm. But I think John and I are at the wait point, not planning on playing it.
Yeah, other games ahead of it, and I'd probably wait for a 60 frames thing. Like I would just want to wait for that.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the Nintendo game Princess Peach Showtime, which unfortunately is currently sitting at a 76 on OpenCritic. And my first question to John is, did you trick me?
Why?
Last week we were talking about the game, and you you chimed in that you had played the demo, which is something you had kept from me, and I didn't know until the show. And I have this game in the fantasy league.
Yeah, I did.
You motherfucker! I knew it.
I told you I played the demo. I did tell you that, but I didn't give you my impressions on it. I don't think I said it. Yeah, I played it. Yeah.
See this sneaky fuck over here.
Listen. There's money on the line, all right? And my 4-time repeating championship belt.
Because my brain was processing like he did that where I could not drop the game. Like I was in a point where I I was locked in. It's gonna be out. I cannot drop it before it releases. And once it's released, I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, that's interesting. Like he mentioned that mid podcast, like, oh yeah, I played the demo. I didn't think it was that great. That's why I think it's gonna review lower. And then of course it does review lower.
I know games.
Fucking
I think I did play the demo Saturday night. Like, so even if I was like texting you, be like, Nick, drop it, Nick.
Likely story.
But at the same time, if I told you to drop it and you dropped it and it gets an 87, you're gonna hate me. So But yes, I did play the demo, and it had that. Where it's just like, here's a new costume, hit A and you do a sword swipe. Here's a cook costume, hit A and you flip a pan around, and it's just kind of,
All right. Well, fuck you, John. All right, but let's actually get into what people are saying. We got Dustin Bailey from Games Radar saying, Princess Peach Showtime fills its short runtime with a tremendous variety of levels and transformations, elevating each with charming details and a surprising amount of spectacle. Its only real limitation is its own lack of ambition, leaving this a memorable adventure, but not one for the ages. And we got Steve Watts at GameSpot, who gave it a 7 out of 10, saying, Princess Peach Showtime is a breezy exploration of genres aimed at novice gamers. So it seems like, it's just a very simple game.
Yeah, it is.
It
is. It's the kind of game that you can probably give a small team 2 years and a small budget to get, and you obviously release it towards the end of the Switch's life cycle. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything else.
Do you plan on getting it at all?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean,
that's right. It's not an 8, 9, or a 10. So
no, and I mean the
it's
time
off John's
I played
radar.
with it, like listen, I'm playing through. I didn't bring it to the show because I don't really have many new thoughts. But I think comparing a game like this to Super Mario Wonder is kind of relevant in a way where I'm playing through Wonder, and it's great, but it's so familiar, and I'm so used to the things that they're doing that yes, you get a Wonder Flower and it transform things, and the plant starts singing, and it's cute and it's wonderful in a very Nintendo kind of way, but I don't know, man. Like I feel like I need more from Nintendo. I need more creative ideas, and like the ideas in this game, while they are, cute and cool, and look, Peach is wearing a ninja costume, and look, Peach is wearing and look, she's wearing that. When you break it down, and the only thing you're doing is modifying one little tiny bit of it, and it's all kind of it's also how I felt about like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like where it's just like there's all these characters, but they all feel the exact same, and never a good formula.
Sure.
I think.
Sure.
Nintendo's more creative than this. It's kind of.
Yeah.
They're
true.
better than
But
this.
Well, as you mentioned when you were talking about Princess Peach last week, they always have their middling projects. The Yoshi and Kirby franchise seem to also get the poor treatment that their superstar franchises.
Yeah. It does. It does.
Get.
I wouldn't be surprised if you went to Nintendo headquarters and they had some huge chart that's like S tier properties, A tier properties, B tier properties, and like S tier properties probably have like every 5 to 6 years next to them, right? It's going to be your Zeldas and your Marios. And then, A tier's like your Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and maybe a Metroid Prime. And then, like, you have the Yoshi's Crafted World. And, like, these are filling in, right? These are going to fill in where we don't have those other ones. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, yeah, that's how I feel.
All right. Moving on, the last game of that March 22nd date is Rise of the Ronin, the Sony console exclusive from Koei Tecmo. It is also currently sitting at a 76 on OpenCritic. A couple of reviews here. We got IGN's Will Borger saying, Rise of the Ronin marries a cool setting, Team Ninja's mastery of tough but fair combat, and smart RPG design, even when map clutter and junk loot can get in its way. And that is also mirrored at Game Central, who also said, an enjoyable counterpart to Ghost of Tsushima with some truly excellent combat, but the bloated open world elements can often suffocate your enjoyment. And yeah, as someone dealing with a gigantic open world in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I am feeling the bloatedness of some of these video games.
Focus, people.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, John? Does this look like something you could be into? I know it's not an 8, 9, or 10, so you're probably just we're never gonna touch it.
I'm getting a little sick of your shit, Nick. All right. I'm watching a movie, doing work here today, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not even gonna ask what the fuck this is." It was a 1925 silent movie, but yeah, with this one, I would say, like, weirdly enough, if there was a game that was in the 7s that like seems like it speaks to me, it's this one. Like, I've seen some clips of it where it's like you ride a horse in the battle, you jump off the horse, you fly, you stab a dude, you engage in combat. That's the exact type of a 8 out of 10 experience that I would want. And I have heard a lot of people that seem to be playing this that are kind of a little surprised by the reception being as low as it is. Not that it's, in the 60s or anything like this, but a 76 is not what you typically want from an exclusive. It's not typically what you want from a game that had this kind of buzz. But
it did get some 9s out of 10, from other sites, IGN Spain, the 6 Axis, these other sites are some people are high on it. So
yeah, so I don't, did it have performance issues that you know of?
I'm not seeing anything here
that
says that it had performance issues.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure what this, obviously we just read the bloat and all that stuff, but that's not exclusive to games that review in the 70s. So I don't know. I mean, this is definitely something I will, if it comes to extra, I might check out. I say that now knowing that my backlog will probably always be there, but it still to me looks cool, but I can't say I'm shocked by the level of the score it is, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't quite know how to read this one. Like, 'cause IGN 7, 6th Axis 9. I don't know.
Yeah, it's reviewing all over the place.
Over the place.
It seems to be one of those love-hate games. Unfortunately it's going. And again, a 7 out of 10 is not a bad game, John.
You're right, it's not, but when 1,400 games come to Steam every year, I need to be picky.
Yeah, no, I'm actually kind of relieved that
was
these three games are not like, oh God, like I gotta like jump in sooner than later. I can wait. But
it does seem like Team Ninja has a weird fascination with nonsense loot, because I've always heard that's the problem with Neo also, where you're just constantly picking up another katana that's 1.8% better, and and I used to like that. The more I get older, I don't really vibe with that much. I want if you can modify my attacks that actually change the way I'm fighting, great. But if you're just adding percentages or numbers or higher, like that's not good.
I don't mind loot in video games. It's just I like to be more meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so Diablo, Borderlands, like it's great when you get the meaningful loot.
Yeah,
When 90% of the guns you're just hitting sell, or the weapons sell, it's like and while I'm playing Rebirth, nothing gets me going other than seeing like a new weapon, because there's only 6 per character in the game. Mm-hmm. So, I have to get the new one. So even if I'm playing a mini game to try and get the best score just so I can get that weapon, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because
that was one of the problems I had with Final Fantasy 16. It's like every time I got a new weapon, I was so excited, and then I would get it and just be like,
yeah,
nothing's different.
Right.
My numbers are just a little bit higher, and it's like, yeah, not great.
Yeah.
That's why Binding of Isaac's so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely not a mechanic John and I typically gel with, but all right, that's all I got. So, a little bit of a reprieve so we can get to the games that we currently want to play. Yeah. All right. So, if you follow us on Twitter at JoysticksPod, you saw that I was very excited. Jeff Keighley teased that he had gone and played the video game Judas. And this is the game from Ken Levine and Ghost Story Games, the spiritual successor to BioShock, his next game. And, when it was revealed in the Game Awards in 2022, if you were listening, John and I were very high on just the reveal trailer. Yeah. And then when we saw the story trailer at the State of Play earlier this year, again, game looks great, even though John and I kind of thought like we had no idea what's going on, and we thought that there was a way that this game is replayable, and again, the PlayStation pals at the time and the Between the Joystick podcast, we're always right.
Yeah,
we
can read.
We never make
can
mistakes
read a trailer.
here. We never make mistakes
We
here.
might not get you bonus podcast episodes, but we can read the tea leaves.
So that came out earlier today. You can, Jeff Keighley put out a 9-minute video talking about his impressions, and then IGN put over an hour interview between Ryan McCaffrey, Jeff Keighley, and Ken Levine. Unfortunately, I only saw the early minutes of it. I haven't watched the whole thing, but let's go over what Jeff Keighley said about the game. So the game is described as a single-player game that's infinitely replayable. And how is it replayable? Well, it sounds like it has a non-linear mission structure, it has roguelike elements, and it has a nemesis system. Now, if you're not familiar with the nemesis system, that comes from the Shadow of War series, in which you would get into these battles with these orcs, and they would remember that battle took place. Mm-hmm. And then they would come back and hunt you down.
They talk shit.
Yeah. And if they killed you, they would remember and talk shit. It was a very cool system, a system we have not seen ever since. Monolith, who made the Shadow of War series, is currently working on a Wonder Woman game that we have not seen or heard or anything, and that was the Game Awards 2020, maybe 2021.
I'd say 2021, but
yeah, it's been a long time. So, what do we mean by that for this game? And what Jeff Keighley described is that we have 3 characters vying for your affection. Tom, who is played by Troy Baker. He had to say that, and then he didn't say what the other voice actors were. I was like, oh.
Yeah, rude.
Nefertiti and Hope. And what happens is these characters are going to charge you with doing things for them. And as you start if you start favoring certain characters, the other characters will get mad at you, and that will affect gameplay and the story itself. And what happens in gameplay is they'll start sabotaging things for you. So there are health stations in this game. So, you go up there and you want to get health. Well, they can sabotage it. So if you're not in a good standing with Tom, he could sabotage it on your current run, and
yeah,
you're fucked.
Yep.
And that's kind of like what the game sounds like. It's a first-person shooter. It really looks like BioShock. You have the ability to, in the footage that we saw, hack enemies. So you could push out your left hand, hack, and you have a little menu of what you could want the character to do.
Yeah, the one they showed was kamikaze, and then it just found another person, ran towards them, and exploded.
And again, the art style is very similar to BioShock. Mm-hmm. But I laid it out there, John. What are your thoughts? Are you higher on the game? You're lower on the game? Mixed? What did you think of what Jeff Keighley had to say about his time? He played the first 5 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned that.
No, this game shot way up my most anticipated list. It was already on there. It's not passing Hades 2 because I don't think anything could, unless if Nier Automata 2 got announced. But everything I saw from this 10-minute Keighley video has me excited, impressed. Curious about what is going to be happening in this game. They used a term that I kind of like, is Ken Levine is trying to build narrative Legos, where, depending on what you're doing, right, and which order you do them, and you're going to build a different structure every time. And I think that's kind of what they mean with the indefinite replayability of it. And that's super cool. And if there's anybody that could do something like that, especially since Ken Levine hasn't put out a game in 10 years, I would imagine he's really focused on making sure that that's a worthwhile experience. I think the characters look great. Like, Hope looks like a cool-ass character.
Describe Hope.
She's like a younger girl robot, maybe, where parts of her skin's falling off.
Yeah, she's
but
like
she's
an
also
android of some kind.
Android, but very pessimistic, very it seems like her motivation is just she wants to die or something, and she just can't. So, obviously I think it's a play on her name, Hope. But it looks fantastic. The abilities with your hand, the animations, the graphics that when you light one of these weird horse head characters on fire, it envelops their whole body immediately, bright, colorful. I think it's going to be great from that standpoint, but also, what can they do from a narrative angle? I will say I'm usually not the biggest fan of you have to piss somebody off, right? Like I like scenarios where I can kind of game the system and win. And if I have to piss off Troy Baker, I guess I got to piss off Troy Baker. But I'm sure it'll be done in a creative, awesome way. Right. I think I read something. It's targeting March 2025. Hopefully that's true. I have no source along that, but I'm hoping that at least kind of tells us that the game is going to hit next year. And I can't wait. I mean, it's and this is a me thing, so I know, but I would rather play this than Grand Theft Auto 6 next year. Like personally, like that's just it looks that cool for me. So I'm in, man. Ghost Story Games, let's go.
Yeah, to mirror your sentiment, this is one of my most anticipated games. I'm sure if I did like my top 5, it would be in those top 5 of games that are currently announced. Yeah, and it's just everything looks great. The gameplay is there. This roguelike non-linear mission structure they talk about, that sounds great. Like John and I will both play this game and probably have completely different playthroughs. That's exciting. And then you can go back and play it again and then favor another character. It's just it's
like that scene, like that last scene in that Keeley thing where like she spray paints the J on her. Mm-hmm. It's like, God, like it seems like Ken Levine's like every time I get narrative moments in games, short of like Last of Us and things like that, they don't seem that impactful. But that was like, I feel she seems fucking mad, like well voiced and all that stuff. I really think,
and that is going to be the clip. People will hear that section before.
Perfect,
yeah.
It's great. And yeah, even like when they're the roguelike elements, and she has to rebuild her.
Peeling back the onion and revealing more of this game, and they haven't said a wrong thing yet.
No,
and it's just
yeah. Ghost Story Games,
and John's little rub at me earlier today is he's like, you think 2024 is the going to be the year that beat 2023? He's like 2025, with Grand Theft Auto 6 and this game if it comes out next year.
What if Persona 6 comes out? Oh God, who knows?
Well, yeah, or Metaphor gets pushed to next year. Yeah. There's a lot of, but it's just great. There's just so many games to look forward to, this year and next year that it's just we're eating really good.
There's just not enough time, Nick. There's never enough time.
Which will lead us into our next topic, which is Hi-Fi Rush, and I will.
Did you beat it?
Just no.
Okay.
So just like last year when Resident Evil 4 came out, and I was like, I'm really liking this, but I got Persona 5 over here, and Persona 5 is really, really good. Yep. Hi-Fi Rush, I played it, and I'll talk more about how far I got, but unfortunately, Rebirth is over here. So I just quickly wanted to touch on that really quick, is my time with Rebirth as I'm entering what most guides refer to as the end game, where they kind of open the world up. I can fast travel anywhere now, and new quests are in every section of the game again. And there's this whole other area I can explore. And I was just like, fuck.
No.
And all those mini games I've been playing, there's new versions of them that are out now. And and I wanted to talk to John here about we need a term for games that are this like time consuming. X-Men 97 is out, and they refer to the superpowered mutants as Omega level. Is like a video game that is going to, at bare minimum, can take 70 hours of your time. Do we need a term for those type of video games?
Yeah, bullshit. It's like there can't be more people out there that want that than that don't. I mean, it's great. It's so good. They spend so much time and effort, and I get it, but dude, I've never come across somebody who's like, oh yeah, just like I could do another 100 hours of that. It's like, no, we get to a point and it's okay to not pack more in, and that's why budgeting's out of control. And we'll work on the title. I don't think bullshit will stick, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy out there.
Yeah, and I know like there's not a lot of these games out there. Persona 5 was one of them, but I just had started that last year, and then this year with Infinite Wealth, and now this game is like there's those which I decided to play back to back like a fucking idiot. But yeah, you're right. It's not, we'll have to come up with a much better term than bullshit. But But yeah, and this is a game that I really 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 love. Like I do, but I do think like you could cut so much and it'd be fine, you know. And I know I don't have to I don't have to do all the side quests and I don't have to do all the mini games, but you know, there's this compulsion in me to at least attempt it.
Well, and you think about the experience I had with Cyberpunk because of time constraints. It's just like, well, you know, am I doing myself a disservice? I know I did myself a disservice with that game. I know that, but I just don't have it in me to do 150 hours of it.
Right.
Like I just don't.
And I'm curious when you start playing this game,
what does my brain want to do?
Yeah, what does your brain want to do if you're like, okay, well, I'm not doing the side quest anymore. I'm giving up on that and just mainlining the story. But
I'm just gonna hang out with Chadley the whole time.
Yeah, it's just, and there's just more and more. There's like 5 different battle arenas with multiple ranks. There's several different Queen's Blood challenges, and it's just
I used to
insane.
like this stuff.
Yeah, it's just too much. It really is, and you know, as we just read with the like Rise of Ronin, the open world bloat. You know, it's the same thing here. It's just, you know, like tone it down a little bit.
Yeah,
just bring it back.
Yeah,
you know. Get that game out a little sooner. You know, people don't have to work as hard.
Lower that budget.
Yeah, lower that budget.
God,
you know, but I know, you know, as we talked about this game, John, you have been saying about, you know, you don't have the nostalgia,
right?
You know, and you're bummed that you're missing out on that. I think this game is gonna sell you on these characters without it.
On the character specifically.
Yeah. The characters in the story, I think, will sell you on it, and you'll even though you don't have that background, you'll realize why everyone's in love with these characters. It's just such a great cast, and as you know, more and more of the party has been revealed. It's been great.
Okay,
it's a wonderful game. So I
am
am excited for you to play it.
Yeah, so when do I get to play it?
I don't know. I'm trying, man.
I know. No rush.
All right. So what do we? Oh, we're talking about Hi-Fi Rush, right? Yeah.
They say I'm the master of derailment.
Well, I did want to put that out there because
sure.
Okay, Hi-Fi Rush is out on PlayStation again, Xbox exclusive of last year from Tango Gameworks. I believe it was an 89 on OpenCritic. You know, one of the best games of last year and winning all kinds of awards. But so yeah, I have it. I started it. I got through the first boss.
Nice. Okay, good.
So I did that. And again, this is a rhythm action game, third-person action game. Very cel-shaded art style. You take the role of Chai, who is there to get a prosthetic, basically, arm, and some things go awry, and his iPod basically gets inserted into his arm and his chest, and now he fights in a rhythm, and the game rewards you by doing attacks in time with the beat. Mm-hmm. And very upfront is accessibility wise, because I'm not the best rhythm player. I wasn't into Rock Band.
Did you put the light, like your little robot guy to follow you around to do that?
Yeah.
Good.
So they do that. So you have a little robot companion, 808, who turns into a little ball and he lights up. But also the world around you is moving to the beat. And then also you can touch the touchpad and they'll have a little menu at the bottom that shows you the beat.
Like the lines, right?
That
come together. Yeah,
that shows you the beat and what you should be doing at. And then also the controller rumbles at the beat.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
That's
it
cool.
does. So I really did appreciate that. It's like you will get this eventually, right? Mm-hmm. And even when you're taught the combat in the game, you can walk up to this fridge character who will go through it again. And I don't know if he's like analyzing the way you play, but it sounds like he is, because he's like, I noticed you're not doing this correctly. And he was referring to like dodging. And he's like, oh, yeah, make sure you time R1 with the beat. R1 is dodge.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, did he read that, or just at this story part of the game he's just going to say that anyway? But it felt like he was like the game itself was analyzing.
He felt judged.
my shortcomings. And yeah, I don't know for a fact that is the case, but it did seem like it.
I bet it is.
But I do like you know, the onboarding is very, very gentle. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, it is such a unique experience that, you know, they're kind of asking people who like, hey, you like color and fun platforming games? Come check this out. And then they go, whoa, what is going on? What is this mechanic? And so, yeah, really making it as easy as they can for the player. Luckily, I am a rhythm master, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know,
you got a lot of S ranks?
I don't know about that, but I could at one point do DDR backwards. So I got that for me.
No, I'm talking about in this game.
I know. I don't remember. I don't think I got a lot of S ranks. I think I got a lot of A ranks.
Okay.
But
I don't feel as bad because I have not yet to hit an S rank for
Yeah,
an encounter. But every encounter you're kind of gauged as how fast you're doing it, using the rhythm, and damage dealt.
Well, from what I remember too, I think there's a component of variety as well, and that was always, I think, what I struggled with, because it wasn't until I got later into the game where I really started to mess around with the I don't remember if you purchase them or if you unlock them or however it was, the different combos that you can do.
You purchase
once
them.
you get because I think when I first started playing, I was like, I'm not gonna memorize all those. I'm just gonna go square, triangle, or whatever it was.
Right.
And then I kind of was like, I'm getting bored of that. Let's actually try and rope these in. And as soon as I did that, I was like, oh, okay. Got a lot better.
The attacks are very basic. And, square is your regular attack, triangle your strong attack, and then if you skip a beat, you hit square, you skip a beat, you get kind of like a rest stop, and then you can do you can launch them airborne, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I liked everything. It's the humor is really good. The music's fantastic. We featured it here many times. I think 2 different songs, Whirring and
Million.
Million.
Which is the first boss song.
It all lands. And
dude, I can't wait till you get to Whirring. Whirring, that's the best part of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 2/3 of the way through probably.
And as you said, it's not a very long game either.
Nope, 10 hours. 10 hours, 6 chapters maybe, something like that, 6 bosses. They try to encourage you to go back and play through a lot. Specifically, I know you saw the trophy list. Like, they want you to beat it 6 times at increasing difficulties.
Right, and there are collectibles and stuff like that, which I was bummed that I didn't get very many.
Yeah,
I was like, how did I miss so many?
Yeah, I would say I would probably urge you just go through the experience. If you really, it's so short. If you really like it enough that you want to play through it again, then you could do that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a great game, man. It was one of the better games I played last year for sure.
Yeah. So, and it has good menu music. It's been a while since we talked about I really like when on the PS5 menu, when you hover over a game, you better have your music playing. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth does, this game does, Helldivers does. Make sure you're.
Sometimes it backfires. Sometimes, not all the time. Like if you get I can't remember what it was, but I swear to God there was one. I think it's like a Lego Marvel game where you load into it and it's just like, and it's just like, dude, I can't do that
every time you hover over it.
Yeah, and so you'd have to leave it to the side, but yeah, but for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, so again, really early impressions. Like I said, that's probably the first hour, and you unlock your home base and where you're able to purchase upgrades and customize your guy. I got the PlayStation shirt on.
Yeah,
so that's cool. But I don't know when I'll get to it. My current gaming plan is finish Rebirth, finish Hi-Fi Rush, go back to Infinite Wealth, and then
it's a good plan.
Dave the Diver, Stellar Blade, hopefully.
What is the Dave the Diver date?
We don't know. It's just April.
Oh, lame. Okay.
I wish listed and it just doesn't have.
Which is cool because then it's gonna be we're gonna get the date and it's gonna be 3 days from it.
Right. Yeah.
So
probably.
Cool. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty good. Just eating so well right now, similar to last year. That it's just
How was it to see a Xbox splash screen?
It doesn't have one.
It doesn't have one.
It's just Bethesda and Tango Gameworks.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. No hint of Xbox Game Studio or anything like that. So.
Okay.
But cool. Again, I'm so happy that it's on PlayStation, and hopefully
I'll get it.
Hopefully a lot of people are. Hopefully a lot of people are buying it and encouraging Xbox to bring more games.
Yeah. I wonder if Sony, even if the numbers aren't 5 million, if they're just be we sold 750, just to let everybody know, right? Just to be we know how much.
A little rub.
Yeah, be we sold this many. Keep them coming.
That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder if they would.
Or if that's all. I mean, no, Sony would know how many copies. They don't have to get Tango's permission to say the sales numbers. I wouldn't think, right?
I don't know.
It's their platform. It's their storefront.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see if we get numbers on those. Guys, we're only at
our game sold more on PlayStation than Xbox.
Yeah. Once they start doing that, but cool, man. Well, I'm glad you got to do it because it was getting annoying trying to get you to take my Xbox. So
it looks like I don't no reason to for quite a minute here.
Probably never.
Yeah, like we said at the beginning, they really just need that one game of the year candidate game. You know,
I don't know. What is it though?
I mean, I think Hellblade will review incredibly well and probably be a game of the year nominee. I just don't think like that will result in, because it's such a niche game, that it won't result in.
No, it's not going to push sales at all of the console. But
but
all right.
We'll see. All right, moving on. Final topic. That video game character battle royale.
Pesky battle royale.
Round 2 wrapped up last week, and we have some results to give you because you guys let me down again. You guys let some ties get through. I hate ties. Hate ties so much. But one matchup that was not a tie is Zagreus took down Geralt. Mm-hmm. That was a big win. It's a big win for the character.
It's a big win. He is a god, you know. But yeah, that wasn't Geralt's no slouch.
Yeah, and a very popular character. I think most people know who Geralt is over Zagreus. So
yeah, very few people probably can see the name Zagreus and go, "Oh, I know what he's from."
And then the two ties, we had the tie between Link and Ellie, and between Sonic and Joker. And John and I are pulling the executive decision. So at the end of this round, we ended up with 15 fighters. That means one fighter would technically get a bye. We're not going to do that. We're going to have 3 fighters from these matchups move on, and we decided that it would be Link, Ellie, and Joker.
Sorry, Sonic. You're dead.
Yeah, Sonic.
The one non-voted loser.
Continuing our trend of not being fans of Sonic since episode 1, in which we dogged Sonic Frontiers. Rightfully so. Again, we were right about that. So
he's got bad game design. What do you want from us?
Yeah. Yeah, he's inherently got bad game design. So he is not moving on. So Link, Ellie, Joker, and Zagreus will all move on into round 3. And so here's kind of the breakdown of how round 2 ended. John and I split. We both had 8 characters who we represented move on. But I slightly edged out John in votes. I had 42 votes to his 35. So
that's you can make it a little worse. That sounds like more than edging it out. That sounds like you pretty much won that round.
Yeah,
you little bastard.
All right, so we're gonna move on to round 3, and we've decided that the format will be this time we're gonna actually draft our representatives here. So John and I will each pick 8 fighters to and I don't know what our strategy is going in this. Do we want characters with more votes?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do we want to steal characters from the other person that we know?
I thought about that too by making my first pick Solid Snake.
But so we hope that will, we will be more familiar with the character. Obviously our last picks we will probably not be, but we'll pick characters that
we both know Rayman's getting picked last. He's a crappy character with a crappy moveset.
Okay. All right. So
this is for a first pick.
Okay, go ahead. We're flipping a coin for first pick.
You want heads or tails?
I'll take heads.
All right. I get first pick.
All right, John. Who you picking?
Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Taking my boy Kratos first. He's strong. He's cool. People like him. And I can't possibly think of a way to beat him in a fight. So I'm going with Kratos.
Yeah, he'll be an easy one to argue for. All right. Yeah, that's a good. Dang it. That is a really good choice. All right. Number 1 pick. This is tough. Dang it. Yeah, he was number 1. Yeah. Everyone else.
Yeah, he was.
Do I steal one from John, or do I go for power level, or do I go for who I know?
Or your heart.
Yeah, where does my heart? I'll go with Batman. I'll make Batman my number one pick here.
The Agent of Darkness, or he's got some dumb nickname like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a lot of world's greatest detective.
Playboy, Bruce Wayne. All right. I'm picking my girl, 2B.
2B.
Yeah, she's too precious. I figured you wouldn't be the total bastard and take her first, so I'm going to take her next.
All right. And I'm going to go Solid Snake next.
All right. Move my Solid Snake down. Just because we're going to have to do the little randomizer here afterwards, so I got to get these lists. Okay. My third pick. We're going to go with Dante from Devil May Cry.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with Ellie. Ellie.
My girl. No. All right. Joker from Persona 5.
All right. Who? He gets the votes, so I'm gonna go with Crash Bandicoot.
Okay. All right, so that's the first half. So left we have Sub-Zero, Fox McCloud, Richter Belmont, Cal Kestis, Clive Rossfield, Rayman, Zagreus, and Link. We're picking up the Zagman, Zagreus.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't pick him earlier.
Yeah, I mean it's a good group of characters.
All right, I'm gonna go with Cal Kestis.
All right, Clive Rossfield.
Dang it. That was gonna be my next one. So we got Sub-Zero, Richter Belmont, Fox, Link.
Fox did get those 6 votes.
Yeah, he is one of the higher picked ones. I'm gonna go Sub-Zero.
Power friendship.
He did take down Doom Guy.
Yeah, he did somehow. Doom guy would have been Doom guy. Paul Atreides would have been a pretty high pick. He's legendary. Link.
All right, so I have Rayman,
Fox and Richter.
I'll go Fox.
Cool. I'm taking Richter.
All right, so there we go. Rayman was in fact last.
All right.
All right, there we go. Got our teams.
So Nick has Batman, Solid Snake, Ellie, Crash, Cal Kestis, Sub-Zero, Fox, and Rayman. I have Kratos, 2B, Dante, Joker, Zagreus, Clive Rossfield, Link, and Richter.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. And therefore, we now need to figure out our first matchup. Get our little randomizers. All right. In Nick's cast of champions, he will first be championing Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot. And remember, folks, I think Nick already said this, but we will be just having a back and forth discussion to argue about our winners. And
yeah, so the idea is that, we're just going to freeform, talk back and forth, have a discussion about it. Hopefully it won't last 20 minutes.
it could.
But we'll see how it goes and just feel it out. Just see how, someone will just start the conversation and then the other person will go from there and back and forth. Uh-oh. He's got a big grin on his face, folks.
Yeah, it's Kratos.
Well,
it's right there. I didn't forge it. It's
no,
right there.
no, you're good because it's Crash Bandicoot in the history of this league has gotten a ton of feedback and votes.
Yes.
But Kratos is also, one of the.
They're both the faces of PlayStation.
One of the obviously Crash Bandicoot again took down Master Chief and Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of a sweet matchup.
Franchise.
This is kind of a sweet matchup. So.
Yeah.
I don't know how well I'm going to be able to argue how he's going to beat him, but we'll go from there.
Yeah. Listen, if Crash wins, it's a pure fact now that we know the voters don't listen to our podcast. All right. Which is fine. But yeah, that's good.
Well, I mean, they can listen. They just may disagree,
Yeah.
This is how it is.
This is how it is. Yep. So there we go.
We're not doing. I thought we were doing 2.
Oh yeah. Right. Sorry. All right. Let me get my list back. Actually, while it's already there, we'll just run it again. So my second champion will be not Kratos again. Really want Kratos. Link.
Okay, Link number 2
versus
Enhance.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Except load. Sorry, folks. Hang tight. Technical difficulties. Have to reload the website. Okay, boom. And Snake.
Oh.
Link and Snake.
Okay.
So both of, or no, Batman was your first pick. So, okay. So Link, Snake.
Yep, Crash Bandicoot Kratos.
Crash Kratos.
Sounds good. So we'll kick off round 3 next week, and that'll go by really fast. So
Yeah.
we're gearing up.
And then
It's
we're
going to
gonna
be
have
finally decided.
Then we're going to have a Royal Rumble for the last 8.
Yeah.
We battled them all at the same time.
All right, so that's it. That's all the things we brought for you. John teases.
Teases. Well, I'm back in action. I obviously got to shake off the being 2,000 miles away from home feeling for a bit. Been digging Remnant 2. Like, I picked that back up and been playing the shit out of Wonder over my trip, but I honestly want to take a break from that because I played a little bit too much of it. Yeah, I mean, I am just in a holding pattern until either Rebirth or Stellar Blade, I think, is kind of where I'm at. So, Remnant 2 has been just a game that I've kind of had for a little bit. I've dabbled in it, but I never took the big plunge. But right before the trip, I kind of had a good night with it, and I was like, I'm really feeling this. So, see if I can continue that, and maybe a match or two of Balatro here or there. See if I can get back into that. I will admit, though, I'm not very excited to get back into it, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. So probably that stuff.
And you're not going to check out the Stellar Blade demo?
Yeah, I'll do that.
You better.
I have a bad memory.
You have to.
I will.
This is your game. You have high hopes.
Yeah, she's gonna be in the next iteration of the Battle Royale. We have Eve. Her name's Eve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that definitely. And if you're listening and you play the demo as well, definitely write in. I want impressions from everybody.
Yeah, give us your thoughts because
This is-
I have Stellar Blade in the league. So if you guys think it's bad, let me know. Unlike what I did to Nick.
No. Say it's really good. Say it's really good.
No, I know my games.
So that'll again. This is kind of the year of Sony just paying for exclusives between Rebirth, Rise of the Ronin, and now seems to be the last one. So and Helldivers, jeez,
Yeah.
good old Helldivers. So
Good old Helldivers. Are you still doing that? Are you pretty much, do you think, hanging up your cape?
Yeah, I played a little bit last night, and yeah, it's just it's weakening on me for
Yeah.
sure. And it needs. It just needs something new to come out, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, and that new thing could literally just be a new faction, a new planet.
Yeah, a new faction would be huge.
Something like that, just to, and I'm sure that will come, right?
Yeah.
Or hey guys, Super Earth's under attack, and then you're fucking
Right.
like I know you're be like, yeah, you're gonna send text messages out to everybody.
Yeah, but I think it's cooling down, but it's still very good. It's just
2
I
months
played a
after
lot.
release, weird.
I played a lot of it, so
What level are you now?
36.
Okay.
I'm Marshal. I'm a space marshal.
It's like Timothy Olyphant's character in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a space marshal. Or maybe I'm mixing up that character with his Justified character, who was a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah. He was
probably-
basically a sheriff in
Yeah,
Mandalorian.
that's what I'm doing. Okay.
I'm gonna check out Stellar Blade. Gonna play more Rebirth. That's kind of it. It's hopefully some more video game news comes out. But I think again we'll definitely talk about this Marvel game that we teased at the beginning. Like that'll be shown, and does it look interesting at all?
Yeah, I mean that could get you maybe. I mean I don't know. I'm not saying it's gonna capture you for a year, but it might be like, oh, let me check this out.
Yeah, I mean if it's a free to play game, I probably would at least check it out. Yeah. But
Yeah.
there's always stuff.
Yeah.
And then round 3 kicks off of our video game character battle royale, so a lot of things to get excited for.
Yeah, there's really no like announced showcases or anything, is there, right now?
No,
Yeah, we're in the holding pattern until May.
Yeah, we know Microsoft's doing something in June. Summer Game Fest is coming June. After that, who knows? So,
Word.
all right, moving on to the song. The song again is coming from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because again they listened to me and released some of their music. So we're gonna kick things off with Rufus's Welcoming Ceremony, 7th 10 Hut, which is a very fun section of the game and a great song. Yeah.
710 Hut.
Yep. the group that you're in during that scene is the 7th Infantry.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, hut like a hut, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And it's very adorable because all the little soldiers are just enamored with Cloud.
Of course, he's a soldier.
Yep. So just a great scene in the game, and great song. It mixes the Shinra theme in it, which is another great. The Shinra theme is like the Empire theme from Star Wars. It's just one of those most identifiable songs to me. So just a great game. I'm sure if you're listening, you're also lost in this game like me. It never ends. You'll never beat it. But, good stuff. All right. So again, thanks for listening. We love you all. Write in any questions, thoughts on either games you're playing or just what you want us to talk about. We'll happily read them on the show. And until next week, we'll be back with 6 more things. Bye, guys.